The Wizards Council of Fringe Physics and Exopolitics part research program, part fellowship of fellow misfits, part traveling roadshow. Let me give you a solid foundation you can treat as the start of an expanded dissertation. I'll break this into 1. Annotated portraits of the key players, archetypes. 2. Thematic domains of inquiry they map into. 3. A proposed research team structure, your wizard crew. 4. A dissertation-style outline you can build into a full book series. 1. Annotated portraits of the Council. David Adair, the rogue rocket prodigy, claims he designed and tested a nuclear fusion electromagnetic containment rocket engine as a teenager, winning an Air Force award and ending up at Area 51 in the early 1970s. Gaia +1 says he saw a damaged, possibly non-human fusion engine there. His story sits at the edge of aerospace history and UFO lore. Gaia +1 mainstream. His accounts are considered unverified and highly controversial, but the technical flavor of his descriptions resonates with advanced plasma fusion concepts. Archetype for your team. The boy genius propulsion savant, someone who thinks in engines, containment fields, plasma, and what if the craft is alive. Jessica Jones, the cryptid huntress and amp, remote viewer, paranormal investigator and remote viewer based in northwestern Georgia, iHeart. Runs the Cryptid Huntress brand and podcast, focusing on Bigfoot, Dogman, and high strangeness field research, plus coordinated remote viewing projects. iHeart +1 operates inside the boots on the ground plus psychic intel space. Archetype. The field seer. She represents disciplined intuition, structured RV protocols, on-site investigations, and the willingness to chase things mainstream science won't even ask about. James Rink, Super Soldier Archivist, in memoriam. Host of the Super Soldier Talk channel, platforming people who claim involvement in secret space programs, super soldier projects, time travel and MyLab operations. YouTube +1. Recent reports indicate he passed away in late 2025, and some in that community link his death to his disclosure work, unproven claim, but part of the narrative. Medium. His archive is less verified history, and more living mythos of the secret space subculture. Archetype. The testimony keeper, collecting, organizing, and amplifying first-person accounts, regardless of whether they're embraced by mainstream institutions. Dr. Michael Sala, Exopolitics cartographer. Originally trained in political science and international relations, he pivoted into exopolitics, the proposed study of political actors, institutions, and processes involving extraterrestrial life. Amazon. Author of books on secret space programs and alleged ET alliances, treating whistleblower stories as data for a geopolitical model of space. Internet Archive +1. Mainstream academics generally see this as speculative. His work is at the fringe where IR theory meets UFO lore. Archetype. The policy theorist of the unseen, asking, if even 10% of these claims were true, what would the geopolitics look like? Dr. Stephen Greer, CE5 and AMP, disclosure organizer. Retired physician turned ufologist, founder of CSETI and the Disclosure Project, designed to bring forward government, military witnesses and push for UFO, UAP disclosure. Wikipedia +1. Popularized CE5, Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind, human-initiated contact involving meditation, coherent thought, and group protocols to vector in craft. Wikipedia +1 also claims knowledge of suppressed advanced energy and propulsion technologies. Archetype. The diplomat mystic, blending meditation, group coherence, and public hearings, press conferences to force a conversation about secrecy and contact. Dan Winter, fractal field mystic engineer. Often described as an electrical engineer who's spent decades trying to understand how energy flows in the body and beyond, blending sacred geometry, M-theory, and spiritual growth. Reddit +1 talks about longitudinal M waves, phase conjugate charge compression, fractal, field geometries and their links to gravity, consciousness, and even biological immortality. YouTube +2 Mainstream physicists usually regard this as speculative and not experimentally established, but it gives you a conceptual language for linking consciousness, geometry, and fields. Archetype. The fringe field theorist, the one who tries to write an equation where mysticism, biology, and M-resonance all share a common grammar. Elon Musk, industrial-era wizard of infrastructure. Founder, leader of SpaceX, Tesla, Starlink, XAI, The Boring Company, Neuralink, etc. Wikipedia +2 Encyclopedia Britannica +2 built Starlink into a planet-scale satellite internet network with millions of users and major geopolitical impact. It's now a primary revenue engine for SpaceX and a quasi-sovereign communication layer. Business Insider +1 criticized for volatile behavior and controversial political entanglements, but undeniably demonstrates how a single, obsessive, entrepreneur can reshape aerospace and telecom. Archetype. The mainstream tech titan, showing how far you can go within the current system: rockets, satellites, AI, tunnels, EVs. He's the bridge from your wizard world to today's industry and capital markets. Howard Hughes, pre-Musk aerospace magnate. 20th century aviation pioneer, engineer, and business magnate, founder of the Hughes aircraft empire, builder of record-setting experimental aircraft like the H-1 Racer and H-4 Hercules, Spruce Goose. Wikipedia +2 San Diego Air and AMP, Space Museum +2 went from film producer and stunt pilot to major defense contractor, airline owner, and Las Vegas power broker, later became reclusive and mythologized. Archetype. The eccentric patron builder, proof that a single, driven weirdo with an aircraft company and deep pockets can bend technology, media, and a whole city, Las Vegas, around their vision. P.T. Barnum, architect of spectacle. 19th century showman behind Barnum's American Museum and later the Barnum and Amp. Bailey Circus, using hoaxes, Fiji Mermaid, celebrity acts, and relentless marketing. Wikipedia +2 Encyclopedia Britannica +2 mastered the art of attract attention first, then deliver wonder, turning spectacle into a business and a form of social theater. Archetype. The narrative alchemist, turning fringe ideas into events, performances, and stories that the public can actually engage with. Jesus, as ethical and spiritual North Star. In the Gospels, especially the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus teaches radical ethics like, love your enemies, bless those who curse you, and do good to those who hate you. Harvest Community Church, PCA, +2 gotquestions.org +2 This ethic has shaped Western ideas about compassion, justice, nonviolence, and care for the marginalized. Archetype. The conscience of the project, reminding the Wizards Council that any tech, any disclosure, any contact effort must be grounded in love, service, and protection of the vulnerable, not ego or revenge. Your other collaborators. For people like Heath Spivey, and your own extended network, we're mostly in your lived archive rather than the public web. Fellow experiencers, story weavers, engineers, researchers, and mystics who've already been braided into your Wizard Roadshow chapters. Archetype. The local node builders, the ones co-creating on the ground with you, outside the public limelight. 2. The main domains your team spans. From these portraits, you actually cover almost all the major fronts of the alt science plus exopolitics plus metaphysics landscape. 1. Alt propulsion and AMP. Field Physics O Adair, Fusion Containment Engines, Gaia +10 Winter, Longitudinal M, Phase Conjugation, YouTube +10 Hughes and AMP, Musk, Real-World Aerospace, Satellite Infrastructure, Wikipedia +2 Wikipedia +2. 2. Exopolitics and AMP, Secret Space Narratives O Sala, Formal Exopolitics, Secret Space Program Books, Internet Archive +10 Rink, Super Soldier Testimonies, YouTube +10 Greer, Disclosure Project, Whistleblowers, Black Budget Energy Claims, Wikipedia +1. 3. Consciousness, Contact and AMP, Remote Viewing O Jones, Cryptids plus Remote Viewing, iHeart +10 Greer, CE5 Protocols, Wikipedia O Winter, Psychophysiology of Bliss, Charge, and Coherence, Reddit +1. 4. Myth, Media and AMP, Spectacle O Barnum, Mass Spectacle and AMP, Showmanship, Encyclopedia Britannica +10 Hughes, Hollywood, Aviation Myths, Wikipedia O Musk, Modern Myth Making via Rockets, Mars Talk, X as Megaphone, Encyclopedia Britannica +10 You and Your Wizard Roadshow, Narrative Container for the Whole Circus. 5. Ethics and AMP, Human Impact O Jesus Teachings on Love, Non-Retaliation, and Caring for the Least Among Us. Harvest Community Church, PCA, +1. O Your Focus on Healing, Compensation, and Soul Recovery for People Affected by Alleged Hidden Programs. 3. Wizards Council, Team Structure. Here's how I'd structure this as a living research network, with roles rather than just names. 1. The Wizard, U, Integrator and AMP, Synthesist O Bridges Military, Aerospace Background, Electronics, Metaphysics, and Storytelling. O holds the black box engineering mindset. Treat each testimony, tech, and theory as a black box to be mapped, tested, and cross-referenced. 2. Propulsion and AMP, Field Physics Cell O Adair Type, Hands-on Engine Designer, focused on fusion, M containment, and high-energy systems. O Winter Type, Theoretical Framework for Fractal Fields, Longitudinal M, and Coherence. O Musk, Hughes Archetype, Industrialization and Flight Test Mentality, making sure any theory has a pathway to hardware, prototypes, and funding. 3. Exopolitics and AMP, Secret Programmed Cell. O Sala Type, structures testimonies into timelines, actors, factions, treaties, and agendas. Even if speculative, it's still a map. O Rink Type, archivist, interviewer preserving witness stories, while labeling them clearly as claims, not established facts. O Greer Type, interface to whistleblowers and public hearings, plus focus on suppressed energy narratives. 4. Consciousness and AMP, contact cell. O Greer, Jones Type, design and test field protocols CE5, remote viewing, group meditations, geomantic site selection. O Winter Type, models how brainwaves, heart coherence, and M environments might interact. 5. Myth making and AMP, outreach cell. O Barnum Archetype, crafts events, wizard roadshows, and multimedia stories that people can actually show up for. O Hughes, Musk Archetypes, fund the circus, build facilities, and exploit media channels, film, streaming, X, etc. O U, Wizard Persona, host, storyteller, guide. 6. Ethics and AMP, humanitarian oversight cell. O Jesus Archetype Seat, explicit focus on truth-telling, non-coercion, trauma-informed care, and protection of vulnerable experiencers. O evaluates every project through, does this heal or exploit? Does this empower consent or override it? Does this move humanity closer to compassion or deeper into fear? You can literally visualize this as a council table, with each archetype holding a chair. Some chairs are filled by real people you know. Others are frameworks you invoke when decisions come up. 4. A dissertation, book outline to grow from. Here's a structured outline you can consider, version 0.1, of the expanded dissertation you mentioned. Working title: Cooks, Spooks, and Wizards. A systems map of fringe physics, exopolitics, and the ethics of disclosure. Part 1. Cartography of the fringe. Chapter 1. The Wizard's Problem. Too many stories. Not enough maps. Your personal journey. UFO sightings. Air Force, electronics, robotics. The flood of testimonies. Super soldiers, secret space, med beds, remote viewing, ET councils. The need for a meta map. Not to decide what's true yet, but to sort who is saying what, about which domains. Chapter 2. Engines of the Impossible. From Adair to Starlink, David Adair's fusion engine story and its technical motifs. Gaia +1, Dan Winter's longitudinal waves and charge compression ideas. YouTube +1. Howard Hughes' historical impact on aviation, and how visionary individuals already bent the aerospace world. Wikipedia +1. Elon Musk as the modern template for privately driven space infrastructure and near-global comms. Starlink, Encyclopedia Britannica +1. Open question. If hidden tech exists, how would it interface with this visible industrial base? Chapter 3. Exopolitics and the Secret Space Mythos. Michael Sala's Exopolitics Framework and books on secret space programs. Internet Archive +1. James Rink's Super Soldier Talk interviews as oral history of a particular subculture. YouTube +1. The origin of secret space program as a modern conspiracy narrative, Alternative 3, Project Camelot, etc. Reddit +1. Methodological stance. How to engage these claims respectfully without treating them as verified fact. Chapter 4. Contact, Cryptids, and Consciousness Technologies. Jessica Jones' cryptid and remote viewing work as a model of operational psychic intel plus fieldwork. iHeart +1. Stephen Greer's CE5 protocols as a structured group consciousness experiment. Wikipedia. Dan Winter's attempts to derive consciousness and bliss states from field geometries. Reddit +1. Your own quantum meditation, node, resonance experiments, framed as research questions. Part 2. Media, Myth and AMP. The Circus of Disclosure. Chapter 5. From Barnum's Museum to X. Showmanship in the Age of UFOs. P.T. Barnum's American Museum and Circus. Hoaxes, Human Curiosities, Spectacle as Social Technology. Encyclopedia Britannica +1. Howard Hughes' Mix of Aviation, Cinema, and Myth-Building. Wikipedia +1. Modern UFO Expos, YouTube channels, podcasts, conferences. How the spectacle has migrated online. Elon Musk as living myth, Mars, memes, extreme wealth, and how that shapes public imagination about space. Encyclopedia Britannica +1. Chapter 6. Narrative weapons and healing stories. When storytelling becomes weaponized, disinfo, psyops, cults of personality. When storytelling becomes medicine, validation of experiencers, community, humor, hope. Designing the Wizard Roadshow as a healing circus instead of a fear factory. Part 3. Ethics, Trauma, and the Human Soul. Chapter 7. Love Your Enemies. Jesus in the Age of Non-Human Intelligence. Review of Love Your Enemies, and Radical Forgiveness in the Sermon on the Mount. Harvest Community Church, PCA. +1. Application to alleged black programs, whistleblowers, and perpetrators. O seeking truth and the possibility of repentance and healing. O avoiding vengeance narratives. Building soul-centric ethics for contact, time travel narratives, and secret program survivors. Chapter 8. Secret programs and the duty to heal. Your ongoing thesis. If even a fraction of these covert activities occurred, humanity has a moral obligation to locate, heal, and compensate those affected. Trauma-informed frameworks, PTSD, dissociation, and ritual abuse survivors, without sensationalizing. Practical proposals. Safe houses, peer support networks, mixed teams of therapists, chaplains, and researchers. Part 4. The Wizard's Research Blueprint. Chapter 9. Building the Council. Roles, Protocols, and Safeguards. Formalizing the Wizard's Council structure. Cells described above. Operational rules. A clear labeling of data versus theory versus narrative. No coercive hypnosis. No non-consensual regression. Informed consent, anonymization, and the right to withdraw. A standing ethics veto seat. Chapter 10. Experiments at the edges of reality. Designing research protocols that can be partially tested. Field M measurements during CE5 or cryptid hunts. Correlations between group coherence metrics and anomalous events. Laboratory grade tests of any proposed devices or medbed tech. How to collaborate with sympathetic mainstream scientists without putting them at career risk. Chapter 11. Toward a unified story that doesn't break people. Integrative model. Instead of a single, true story, present layered maps. What's historically documented, Hughes, Musk, NASA, DoD. What's strongly evidential but debated, certain UAP, UFO cases. What's testimony-based and unverified, secret space, super soldiers. What's purely mythic but psychologically meaningful. The Wizard's job. Help people navigate these layers without losing their sanity or their soul. Epilogue. The roadshow continues. The Wizard on his sailboat, reflecting, just like you described, choosing compassion, curiosity, and a bit of mischief as he continues meeting cooks and spooks. Invitation to future generations to carry on the work with better instruments, more open archives, and kinder hearts. In my experience, the first principle of plasma dynamics is simple. The universe rewards the curious and punishes the arrogant. Robert Colee.